Hello everyone, here is a new style of book review which was inspired by this Pecha Kucha talk. So every 20 seconds it's going to keep moving and I have no control over this. So I'm going to review this book, The Diagrams book by Kevin Duncan, in just 20 slides and each going for 20 seconds. So expressing ideas and solving problems with just words is hard because the way we understand verbals between a person A and person B, between you and me, is going to be so little. The way we understand language is not the same. And from different geographies, it's going to be very different. So it's a lot easier to do the above using diagrams. It's also called as visual thinking. So the way a person A and person B understands a shape and form is very, very similar. So we will be able to use visuals much better to actually solve problems and express ideas. In this book, you are going to get most diagrams that is needed to solve any problems. And absolutely, it's documented in this book. There are about 50 of them. And that is all probably you need 80% of the time to really solve problems. And just by going through the book, you will be able to understand that there are about 5 parts to this, and there are different types of shapes and forms that are used here. So one is triangles, squares, circles, lines, and flows. And these are the various parts, and you will be able to solve problems using just this. And that's pretty much what is discussed as parts. If you look at triangles, the magical ABC 1, 2, 3 sequence or center of the triangle, using that or using the sides of the triangle, you will be able to pretty much depict anything that is a 3-pronged problem. And that's pretty much what is exciting about triangles. And you can also use pyramids. So pyramids are beautiful because they help you to segment the whole structure. You can have a rising or a falling. You can have segmentation in pyramids. So you'll be able to pretty much represent any business problem using pyramid structure. And the other one, which is a variation of triangles, is the wedges. There could be a whittling wedge, or there could be a rising wedge, there could be an interlocking wedge. So whenever something is dramatic and you wanted to show that it is declining, you can use the wedges accordingly, or rising, or probably there is something that is kind of coming together. And the next best, there's nothing square about squares, but you will be able to see quadrants forming, grids forming, areas forming as a result of kind of lines coming together. And this is beautiful to represent anything that is going to be a map. And the best that we can do with lines is as a scale, as an axis. In the axis, you will be able to pretty much use any graphs that can be depicted in 2 dimensions. It could be a long tail, it could be a histogram, it could be anything for that matter. So lines can be taken one step forward. So it need not be just straight lines. Probably you're showing something like, oh my God, the market is going through panic, or probably here is an area that is being formed and this is above average, this is below average. All of these are just lines, and they are able to really talk about how lines are functioning. Circles, on the other hand, is about how the bullseye and the concentric circles around it are representing layers, maybe pie charts, Venn diagrams. These are all variety of forms and shapes that can be used with circles. Circles go little further, like probably there is a core idea and there are some sub ideas and there are some connected ideas, and that can also be represented using circles. So it can be utilized even for showing connections between how the various objects are connected. And that's pretty much is the beauty of circles. And flows, we can go ahead and look at it from a hierarchical perspective. It could be a hierarchy, or it could be just the interconnectedness that is being showed. Probably there is a dotted connection, there is a direct connection, there is a solid connection. All of these things can be discussed with flows. And funnels, it's pretty much used pretty much to represent anything that's kind of starting big and kind of filtering smaller. It could also be a pinch of the triangle coming together, giving an idea when two different items collide, what happens. And a fulcrum, which is kind of showing the balance, what happens when one side goes up and what happens to the other side, or probably it is kind of flowing from, okay, sequentially from A to B to C to D and to E. And these are all variety of ways in which you can represent the flow. And this is just a boxed way of showing the process. It starts here and it ends here, the way it is getting connected. It's a very sequential process. It need not be sequential. It could also be interconnected if you want to really bring in a process and the flow together. So you can use squares and just arrows. And of course, decision trees, where you start with something and it keeps branching out. And these are different ways in which you will be able to represent a tree in a certain direction. So this is a tree decision. That's what is shown. It could be the opposite way, where it is starting somewhere and kind of coming down. So these are all the variety of diagrams that are discussed in the book. I'm able to show a few here, and of course there is 30 more. I can't give away everything. It is important that you go and check out this book. This is a fabulous book. As a designer, I totally enjoyed, and I think I have everything that I need to pitch using diagrams. And I'm solving everyday business problems using these diagrams. And to tell you the truth, this has been fabulous for me, because everybody is able to understand visuals. Somehow I'm able to just make a point and say that this is it. So that's pretty much what I had as a 2020 review, and I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know how you liked this format.